Hello, here live with you guys, and I'm actually on two different cameras. See, this is chopping my head off. So, showing what I'm having for lunch. So I'm adjusting this one more time. Sorry, y'all. I'd rather chop my head off a little bit and you see what I'm doing. So, this is a Q&A for anybody who's able to join, but I wasn't sure who would be able to join, so, and I was hungry, so I decided I would also prepare my lunch and let you guys kind of watch that process as it unfolds. All right, so I'm on a raw cleanse currently, and I know that you guys in my various groups are doing your own cleansing of different kinds, but for me, I have learned that I got to push myself higher and harder every single time, and so I knew that I needed to do all raw. And this is I really, in addition to that, I am fasting completely from food 1 day a week, and I was praying about it this morning, trying to decide if I would go 2 days a week. Hey Karen, so for that reason I'm really debating, will I do 2 days a week or just 1 day a week, and I feel like it's going to be increased just to push myself even more to go to 2 days a week of complete fasting. And I really believe that at the end of this, I'm going to focus on doing all raw 3 to 4 days a week, because I'm finding that my body really likes it. My eliminations are better. I have much more control over my appetite. My appetite is also very reduced, so I'm not as hungry. Yesterday I had a big smoothie for breakfast, and then I went to a raw restaurant. Some of you may have seen the live that I did yesterday. If not, it's on my Cara Ashburn page. And I showed my plate. I ate 2 of those and about half my soup, and I was totally not hungry anymore. I wouldn't say I was full. It's a strange thing. I'm not always full, but I'm also just not hungry and don't have a desire to eat. It's probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed. And so I'm learning, don't force yourself to eat just because you think you should. You don't have to eat if you're not hungry. If you're not hungry, just don't eat. And so that's what I'm working on, because that is really a mental thing. You know, especially if you were raised to like clean your plate must be clean at all times, then you feel pressure to eat even when you're not hungry anymore. You feel like you need to go ahead and keep eating because it's lunchtime, or because it's dinner time, or because it tastes good, or because you made it. You don't have to do that, okay? When you're not hungry anymore, or you've lost your desire for the plate, just push it away, because that is your body's signal telling you that you don't need to eat anymore. All right? Hey, Kimberly. I see you guys over here in the detox group. Well, I see somebody liking it, but I can't see who's joined. So go ahead and say hi so I know you're there if you joined from either group. So I just want to give you guys that, because so much of changing your lifestyle, 97% of it, hey Nicole, is here. This is where the change starts, continues, and ends. It's in your mind. Until you get your mind in the right place, it does not matter how many recipes you have. It doesn't matter if you're doing Whole30 or Zone Diet or Atkins or Paleo or Alkaline. None of it matters until your mind is set and in the right place and you have a plan. A plan looks different to different people. Hey, Glory, plan looks different to different people. Some people need a lot of structure in their plan. Other people, if you give them the basics, they can kind of float with it a little bit. And I'm actually working on something as an outcome of the mindset makeover to work with people more one-on-one to figure out what works for you. And so I want people to begin thinking about a tailored approach. Stop trying to do what works for everybody else, because it's not going to work. Whatever works for you, your plan. There's something in my health coaching classes, there's a term called bioindividuality, which basically means that everybody has their own individuality and needs their own individual approach. And so for that reason, it can't be one size fits all. Even on a plan as narrow as what we're doing, tomatoes might irritate somebody, or some people are allergic to nuts, or some people, no matter how they try, they just don't like kale, right? So you don't want to come to dread and hate your meal, and you're chopping this kale up and putting it in here just because it was in the recipe. No, 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 no. That's not the way to lasting success. You have to bring that in to what works specifically for Karen, Nicole, Glory, Kimberly. What is going to work for you that also considers your lifestyle, your home environment, your personality, everything. So that is something that I'm working to develop, and it's already a part of the Life Balance Blueprint program, the Life Balance Blueprint within the Breakthrough program. What works specifically for you? For me, I don't do a lot of meal prep. I keep the right ingredients in my house, and then sometimes I make like 1 or 2 staples that I then build on. That's what I'm going to show you guys today. Go ahead and start with any questions and stuff you have. Share your struggles, where you are. I want this to be interactive. This is not a live where I want to just talk at you guys, but y'all know I can talk. So I can keep talking for the whole 30 minutes probably that I'm going to be on here. I don't want to though. I want to hear from you guys. And so what I've done with the raw cleanse, someone inboxed me and she said, I think this is really good. You know, you could build new recipes out of this and everything. That really wasn't my goal. I used to think this was a bad thing, that I didn't want to just build constant recipes and create a million cookbooks. But now I believe that this is actually my sweet spot. I want you to know how to do for yourself from a broad range of, from a broader foundation. So, because just sticking to a recipe, you think you need that, but if you can be freer to just go in the kitchen and create, you'll save more money, you'll save yourself more stress and aggravation, and you'll learn more about the food, okay? So what I've done while I've been on this cleanse is I've just made like 1 or 2 staples each week, and then I'm just building different dishes based on that. I can eat the same thing for about 2 days in a row before I get really tired of it. Some of you guys are different. Some of you can eat the same thing day after day after day after day, and you feel fine. I'm not like that. I need to have a little bit more variety before I can, get bored. I get bored very easily. 2 meals, I'm done. But yesterday, because I ate at the live restaurant, I was able to get a little change of pace, and then now I can go back to what I already had on Tuesday. I think, yeah, Tuesday was the last time I had this. So what I'm doing today is very simple. This is going to be the foundation. This is spring mix, all right? So with your spring mix, and some of mine is a little too far gone. So what you want to do is make sure you always dry your lettuce and pick through it. All right, this is real life, but you want to dry your lettuce because it wilts very fast, and getting the moisture out just makes it more enjoyable. All right, I use a spinner as well, but you can also just use a napkin or paper towel, something like that, just to get that extra water off. Especially if you're going to store your lettuce, make sure that you go ahead and wipe it down. I'm super particular about mine, so I pick through it. The cookbooks will provide variety and a great way to educate others. You know what though, Karen? If I did a cookbook, it would probably still be very loose. I used to be tied to recipes. I felt like if I didn't have a recipe, I didn't know what to do. I want to figure out a way to teach people foundational information so that they can then build their own thing. So if I ever do another full cookbook, it's going to be set up very differently than how people are used to seeing it. And some people are not going to like that. I'm just going to be honest with you, but it's going to work for those who need to be able, who are willing to take a journey of exploration, let's call it that, and really figure out, kind of how to start from scratch and build their own meals. Because I used to go back to the grocery store if I didn't have the right ingredients. I felt like I couldn't make a recipe. Now, some recipes will say you can substitute this, that, or whatever. But I know there's some of you out there that when a recipe says use whatever vegetables you like, y'all are like, oh, tell me what vegetable. I can't do it. I get it, y'all. Listen, when I was a kid and they had coloring books where it was freestyle. You could color whatever page, whatever color you wanted all over the outfit or whatever the picture was. And then you had the paint by number. I always wanted the paint by number. Like my whole childhood, I was never creative. I wanted you to tell me what color to make this dress. I didn't want to have to think that, I didn't want to have to think through that. And I always had fear that I didn't trust myself, that my design was not going to come out right. And so therefore I need somebody to, tell me how to make this taste a certain kind of way or whatever, or look a certain way, right? I didn't trust myself. So that's really what I've learned, even with food. I didn't trust myself. I was afraid of wasting ingredients. So therefore, I didn't want to take any chances. All right. I don't want anybody who works with me to be like that. I want you to be courageous. I want you to not be afraid to fail. You would be surprised how much that ties into the rest of your life. You would be very surprised. Your personality, like the core of who you are, is tied into everything that you do. It's tied into everything you do. So it's affecting your diet. It's affecting your relationship choices. It has affected your career choices. It's everything. You take you wherever you go in whatever scenario you're in. That's important to know, to get to know about yourself, especially as we get older and we realize we want to finish stronger than we started, especially with all those hiccups in the middle, right? So, all right. So every time I come on here and I do a live, I forget something. And I'm sorry about that because somebody actually gave me a review. It was like, it was so distracting. She kept walking away from the camera. Unfortunately, you guys, I have not obtained a high level of perfection yet. And one day when I have like a big staff, they're going to go get me things and put it in the seat when you can't see. But I'm going to have to grab some spoons, which aren't far away. But I'll do that in a second. So I got my spring mix up here. Okay. Just your random spring mix. I could have used spinach, but my spring mix looked like it needed to be used up first. So that's what I'm using. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. You're tied to recipes but getting better. That's excellent. That's excellent. You won't please everyone. It's great to have the freedom to explore. Absolutely. It was rough for me at first as for thinking out the box because I was scared it won't turn out. Listen, sometimes it's not going to turn out. I have had some epic fails in the kitchen. And that is very hard emotionally if you don't like failure. I've had some epic fails, y'all. I've had some strange stuff I made, and some of it I ate anyway, and everybody else was like, I ain't touching it. No, thank you. But you have to fail in order to get back up. The Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times. We talked about that in the Rebirth group. A righteous man falls 7 times. But in order to fall, that means he had to stand back up at some point, or he wouldn't have fallen even the 2nd time, much less the 7th time. All right. So we have to be willing to take a chance and embrace failure as a part of the process. Even in weight loss, there are going to be days you don't do great. But what the enemy wants to do is get you to stay down. You're already feeling bad because you fell off the wagon. Now you're going to just stay down there and roll around in it and eat more donuts because, oh, well, I already fell off. No, that's what drug addicts do when they can't recover yet. That's what food addicts do when they can't recover. But you will do much better in the long run if you learn to just stay the course. Okay? Let me grab these spoons and I'm going to keep going. I apologize to my detox group because you can't see me very well because of my camera angle. So I'm very sorry about that. But I can't get it to angle where it shows all of me. I guess I'm too tall. I could put it up higher, but I'm not going to worry about adjusting it now. So I'm just going to do like this. This is actually a lunge, you guys, while I'm preparing food. I can do lunges. You can do this. Hey, all right. So catch me up. Who's doing the rebounding every day? Who's doing the rebounding every day? Who is using their doing their dry brushing? What changes or differences have you noticed? I was so blessed to see someone say that their mood has shifted dramatically as a result of the changes, because that is huge. She's noticed that food has an impact on your mind. That's incredible. So what changes and stuff have you noticed? All right. Comment on that. I'm going to start on my zucchini noodles. The dish I'm making is a base of spaghetti. I made spaghetti last night for my son. I must be thinking about it. But I am making zucchini spaghetti, zucchini noodles. So a base of spring mix. And then I'm going to spiralize this whole zucchini, probably put half of it on there. And then I'm going to add a variety of other veggies. It could be any veggies, you guys. Any veggies. And then I'm going to top it with my pesto sauce right here. And that'll be it. And a lot of times when I'm building this, I'll just like keep going, throw a bunch of random stuff on there. But the sauce is the anchor. So when I was talking about an anchor, this is my anchor for the week. And honestly, you could serve this to your family that's eating regular food. I could toss this with regular cooked pasta and give that to them. And I may end up doing that. I haven't experimented with freezing that yet, but it may freeze very well. All right, so once I get my noodles on there. Oh, you know what, guys? What's one thing I was thinking about? I'll plate it for you guys and then I'll do it. You can also use, even if you're doing raw, your oven on the lowest setting just to give something a little bit more heat. So I may do that with this, or I may just let it sit out here on the counter for a while because the pesto is cold coming straight from the refrigerator. So I may, after the video, toss it with the noodles and set it in the oven on very low just for about 15 minutes or so to warm it up just a touch. I still want to keep all those enzymes intact, especially because my body is like really loving this raw cleanse right now. So I don't want to overdo the heat that I put on it. All right. This Veggetti costs $10 at Walmart. They have it in black and white. This is much easier to use than those big spiralizers that you see that, you know, have harder to clean, all that. This is it. As soon as you're done, just go ahead and rinse it out. All you have to do is put the zucchini in here and turn it. I have 2 of these. Somehow I think I bought a second one and forgot that I already had one. And I had it in my, you know how you get things that's just sitting in your cabinet? I hadn't even used it. Look how easy this is. I promise you I'm turning it. I'm not exerting a lot of effort at all. I had 2 of these and didn't realize that how easy it was. They were just sitting in there. Hadn't used it. Kept saying I was going to use it. Never felt like eating raw because cooked food is so addictive. So hadn't used it. Then finally I went on a raw cleanse, and that was one of the recipes that I had or whatever. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and try it. And man, it's so easy. So I'm going to take this, clear off the sides there a little bit. I'm doing the dry brushing every day and the bath. No longer have pain in your hips or spine, and the pain in my hands has decreased substantially. Amen. My skin is glowing, sleeping better, my mood is greater. Won't he do it? Yes. Do I use the end parts? What do you mean? Like the cap? There's some cap that came on this, but I don't use that. All right. So there. I don't use that. I just put it in here. The end parts of the zucchini, no, I cut the end parts of the zucchini off. I don't know why. It just makes sense to me that I wouldn't want to eat that. Okay. So again, and this will keep. So I can't eat all of this right now. Kind of getting kind of full just looking at it. My appetite is so much lower, you guys, which I'm grateful for. Today I have a reminder set on my calendar to go for a walk at 3 o'clock. One of the things I'm working on during my cleanse is just doing what I said I would do. The leftover zucchini, no, I don't use the rest of that. Just do what I said I was going to do. So even if I don't do like a huge walk, I'm definitely going to get on my rebounder and go outside and just walk a little bit. Do something. Something is better than nothing. But you can't just always be doing something. Sometimes you got to go a little harder, but got to start somewhere. All right, so let me trim that off, come back and finish the rest of this. And this is a pretty large zucchini, so it makes a lot. Okay, you want to say the dry brushing. Just keep it up, Nicole. it takes time too. Everything can't show up overnight. We can't all be Karen with her amazing results. Now, I'm not hearing anything from my detox group. I don't know if I can't see your comments or if you guys are multitasking, saying, hey, I'm going to watch the replay. I don't know, but I hope you guys are all right. Seems like we've got a couple folks that are super active, doing really good, staying focused. So that's good. All right, this is the point where I give up because it's getting too hard to turn. And maybe with the bigger appliance, it would do that part better. But check me out. I got noodles. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, Monique's multitasking as always. That's all good, that's cool. All right, so put that in my pesto. So what I'm gonna do next is take my zucchini noodles and drop them on here. All right, like so. For me, when it looks better visually, when it looks good visually, I feel like it tastes better. That's just me. I really do feel like I can feel a difference in taste. All right, so I'm scooping this up, and I'm just gonna chop up my veggies, you guys. So, and then I have a hemp salad dressing that I made that has solidified somehow in the refrigerator. Look at that. I'm gonna have to add some water. It has coconut oil in it though, so I could either add water or just run this, hold it under some hot water and get it to melt down a little bit, which is probably what I will do. And next I'm gonna add in some olives. I wanna show you guys these olives. If you're an olive lover, you still might not like them and they are pricey. I'm adding 2 different kinds of olives. These are from Vitacost.com. And this bag is super pricey, and by super pricey I mean like $15. Okay, but I like them because they're a great treat. They're I hate to use the word meaty because people, you know, hear meaty and think meat, but the texture is not as soft at all as a regular olive. So in that sense, meaty is the best word to describe it. There is a slight bitterness that some people might not like. Oops, almost cut my finger there, y'all. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy it from a texture perspective, especially when I'm eating raw. I like to get that extra texture in there. All right, so I'm just gonna drop that on the side right there. Then I'm gonna add in my bell peppers and a little raw butternut squash that I had left over, which has been surprisingly good, you guys. It's been surprisingly good to have the raw butternut squash. Now, I was running it on a box grater, but then the other day I didn't have it, so I just did thin slices like this. Okay. But again, my focus is so not on eating right now. I'm just eating because I need to. And so that's helping me not be as obsessed with food and taste and things like that. So slicing that up. You definitely have to work on how your food looks. As long as my food tastes good, I don't care how it looks. However, your food makes you want to cook exactly what you cooked. Thank you. But you know what? As long as you keep a lot of color in there, because I'm not the greatest at like plate decorating. I think it's also that I'll be praying over some of these meals sometimes, because I'll take a picture and as I'm taking the picture, it doesn't look that good to me. And then once I post it and share it, I'm like, oh, that looks so much better than I thought. So go figure that it does make a difference. So I'm adding in my I'm thinly slicing this butternut squash because of course it's not cooked. But you know what, y'all? If we can eat carrots raw, this is very similar to me as a raw carrot. And I can't taste it. I've never tasted it. I know, Nicole, you had some concerns with it, but I don't taste it at all in these dishes. Yesterday I did it like this. I couldn't even taste that it was there. So that can be good or bad depending on what you're going for. All right, now I've got my olives there. Butternut squash on one side, olives on one side. What do we have next? I've got some sun-dried tomatoes. I have some regular black olives. I have a yellow bell pepper, which I'm going to use as well as this orange one. So let me take this out. And then that's a little bit of cucumber right there. It looks like it needs to be used up. So I'm going to add that in. Boom. You'd be surprised how filling vegetables can be like this. Now, are they going to keep you full all day? For most people, no. That's okay. Eat again. The reason why the reason why when you eat fruits and vegetables, you get hungry again faster is because your body has quickly been able to digest it, utilize the nutrients have been absorbed, and it's working on elimination. You know, when you eat, the reason why sometimes with fast food, like when I used to be at McDonald's all the time, there's nothing in it. There's nothing to it at all. And so your body's hungry again because it's still hungry because it didn't get fed. That's a difference. And then the reason why some of your heavier meals sit on your stomach longer is because your body can't digest it. Your body is working overtime to get that food broken down. And it's basically like saying, okay, this is what we got. This is what she put in here. How can we use this? And let me tell y'all, I've been doing so much research on this lately. Your body is trying so hard to figure out, is there any way I can use this? Is there any redeeming thing in this cheeseburger that I can take and use? And frankly, some of the research will do the same thing. They'll point out the one thing that's good about an item and then just ignore the 10 things that, you know, aren't so great. But what we want, what our goal is not weight loss. Weight loss is a byproduct. Our goal is to feed our body what it wants and not be so focused on, you know, satisfying our cravings and things like that in an unhealthy way. A lot of times your cravings, if they're not physiological, they're coming because your body is starving of nutrients, honestly. I never give myself credit for what, Nicole? I don't deserve no credit. I definitely have to work on how much food. Okay, she got that. All right, I can answer that question. So these are my sun-dried tomatoes. Y'all, these have been a lifesaver, and they were so pricey at Publix. I really didn't want to buy them, but that extra burst of flavor has been just everything in some of my meals. So I'm gonna need to keep these on deck, but I need to find a cheaper source. Hey man, this bottle was like $4 for this little bottle. So, but it is still cheaper than eating out. All right, so once I add these sun-dried tomatoes, which you know what, I'm gonna put these on top of the pesto. Once I add these sun-dried tomatoes, I'm going to, I'll be just about done. Oh, avocado, cucumber, and then my dressing, which, nope, still rock solid. So I'm gonna have to thaw that out a little bit. Now I know. All right, so let's go ahead and add our cucumber on. I like to take some of the peel off. Don't ask me why. It's just one of those weird things that I do. All right. Turn this. And that, not even making that pretty, y'all. I'm just shoving it on there. Cucumber is so hydrating. You should eat a cucumber every single day. Just eat it. Don't overthink it. Just eat it. Just eat it. All right, and then olives, pesto, and we're done. Again, I already have olives on here, but these olives, regular black olives, taste totally different. I could eat a whole jar of these. Now, if I was Chef Ramsay, I'd be chopping these olives in a way that makes sense. But because I'm not. Coach K can be entertaining too. All right, so there's my olives. bring this up here so you guys can see it better. And where do I want to put them? Just gonna drop them right here. This is the other thing I've noticed, and some of this I picked up, honestly, you guys, from watching other plating, that when they separate the ingredients like this, you really get a better chance to see what everything is. All right, so pesto next. Now, don't ask me how I'm gonna eat this, because now I feel like I need a bigger bowl. But go down, mix it all in, right? So I've got my avocado here, which I'm gonna put that on the side. Which one? Okay. I brought 2 over here for insurance. Okay. Booyah! It makes my day. All right, and then voila, voila. I'm gonna experiment with doing avocados a little firmer based on some videos I was watching on Instagram where she was just fanning the avocado out in the most beautiful ways. It was so pretty. This part I don't have down at all. Making my avocado look pretty. Not my gift. I'm just trying to eat it. And then usually by the time I add the avocado, I'm getting hungry. So I'm like ready to get it over with. There's that. Bop, bop, bop. Okay, I should have been running my dressing under the water this whole time. All right. Nicole, my food has to look good. Isn't going to, yeah, if it looks good, if your food looks good, it does taste better. All right, let me get this melted down, and I'm just going to pour it over the top. Heat it up enough for me to be able to. Okay, sorry about that. This is a little bit better. I can hear something happening in there that tells me it's loosening up. So this is it's like a creamy type texture when it should be more liquidy, but that's the coconut oil in it. So I could also add a touch of water in here to help it loosen up. This is so good. Oh, this is so good. This is hemp seeds, which are so good for you. Hemp seeds are superior to flax seeds, superior to chia seeds, and that's because they have the highest concentration of essential fatty acids that help you to feel more satiated so that you eat less, help your weight loss more. They're not quite as high in fiber as the other two, but they are also highest in protein. 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds contains 10 grains of protein, 10 grains. So you could easily get that in through the day. You could now doing 3 tablespoons all at once will probably ruin whatever you put it in. But if you put a tablespoon of hemp seeds in your morning smoothie, if you put a tablespoon of hemp seeds in your salad dressing at lunch, and then you put a tablespoon of hemp seeds sprinkled over your meal, or just throw it in whatever you're cooking at dinner time, you got 10 grams of protein in. All right, easy, easy, easy. So I'm gonna break away from you guys and add a little bit of water to this. There's my water. I just want to loosen it up enough so that it pours over the top. Okay. Just give me a little bit. And so this dressing is hemp seeds, about 3/4 cup, with a small shallot, which could have been a little bit less shallot because the onion flavor is very strong. You could also just use onion powder. Let's see what this looks like. Then there's a pinch of salt in here. You could add fresh herbs to it. Here we go, that's much better. And a lot of lemon or lime juice. Gives it a little acidity. Then you can do the coconut oil. Next time I may do olive oil because I don't like that I have to do this right now. If you do an olive oil, it will stay separated. Or any kind of oil. You could use an avocado oil, for example. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to put my sun-dried tomatoes on top. Okay. Just think the color looks better that way. And then here comes the tricky part. How do you get your salad dressing on here without obscuring all of your veggies so that you can share your beautiful picture with the world? I don't know. I'm just going to try it like this. I'm trying to like put it around in a ring and see how this works. This is with the addition of ginger powder in here. It's garlicky. Those of you who either follow Dr. Sebi already or are considering it, he does not recommend garlic because it's low on the pH scale. I've stopped eating it because it also can mess with your blood. So I know that's shocking to a lot of people, but I use a combination of onion powder and ginger powder, and all my stuff tastes garlicky. And then you need a good bit of salt. Nothing else is salted, so making my salad dressing salty helps me feel like, you know, I'm getting that saltiness in, because I am a salt girl, I'm not gonna lie. All right, let me show you guys what this looks like, and we'll be done. Again, I'm gonna let this sit on the counter for a little while so that my pesto can warm up. There we go. So I guess this is zucchini noodle salad. It's the best name I can come up with. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you are encouraged to go ahead and get out, get into your kitchen and just kind of throw some stuff together. Remember, if you have a really good anchor, like a good homemade salad dressing, or a pesto that's very good, or both, that's what carries through the rest of your dish. I am going to add probably another little seasoning I have. I have this seasoning from Bragg's, multi-purpose seasoning. I'm going to sprinkle over the whole thing before I take the picture. But I'm good to go, and I will be full for quite a long time on this. But if you try it and you are not, have a smoothie an hour later. You know, eat more. Make sure you use a bigger bowl than I did and put more noodles on there. So many things you can do. The sky is really the limit. The biggest limitations you face are the ones in your mind. Okay, so for my rebirth group, I'll see you guys tonight at 7. For the detox group, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 6. There will be emails going out to both groups today with reminders, connection information, and all that good stuff. All right, so you guys have a blessed day. Bye.